So we're doing another Flax C++ video, this time for NPC AI Navigation. Most of this has a good and straightforward API, and I'll put a link to that in the description, but I was only able to find the C# version, so I translated it into C++ with AI. Don't worry, I made it work. I'll be doing this tutorial inside a larger project I'm working on, so ignore anything that I don't draw attention to. First, make a character controller and place some sort of mesh inside of it, preferably one where you can tell which direction it's facing. Put a nav mesh bounds volume in the scene and make sure it encompasses everywhere you want the enemy to be able to go. To see where the nav mesh is, click View, and under Show, click Navigation. Make a script for your NPC if you haven't already, and include these includes. You don't need all of them, but it's usually fine to have more includes than you need. You can try figuring out which ones aren't necessary if you want to be super efficient. Make these public variables, and these private variables. On update or fixed update, whatever you're using, put this to make the enemy face the player. If it's like a floating orb or something and you want it to face up and down, ignore the .y thing. Put this first part, which gets the AI ready to move and checks if it can move. Now something I'm doing here is I have it where if the enemy can't find a path or the player isn't on nav mesh, I have it move toward the player without AI. This is an unpreferable solution. What I wanted was to have the enemy move to the closest reachable point on the nav mesh to the player, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. If you know how to do that, please tell me. As for now, it's important to note when the enemy moves without AI, it will run into walls and off cliffs. If the enemy moving when they can't reach the player isn't that important to you, you can just leave this part out, minus the return line, and the enemy will just stop moving instead. But it is important to me to have this because otherwise the enemy stops moving when my player jumps because my game has a high jump. Moving on from all that, put this part that moves the enemy with AI. Lastly, going into the editor, make sure your enemy script is on the enemy character controller and fill your references putting the player's character controller in the move to target reference and the enemy's character controller in the E controller reference. It should work now. As you see, it follows me when I'm on the ground, in the air, and on an unreachable spot on the nav mesh. I'll try putting the code in a pinned comment like in the character controller video. If you try to copy and paste, it will put all the lines together, but at least you'll be able to get a better look at it. Thanks for all the support, especially to anyone who likes, comments, or subscribes. That's it.